Well, we got some Finch knife in the studio. I like the Finch knife Holiday. This one I got from Finch Knives, and I saw it on their Instagram, and I thought it really looked pretty trick. I was I was attracted by the design. Okay, I'm kind of a design centric person. I don't chase materials necessarily. I chase, I guess, the lust factor, which is if it hits me in the sweet spot as far as my interest in design, then there I go. I mean, I don't care if it's a $25 knife or a $500 knife. If the design's there, I might be chasing it. And this one called the Holiday. It's 154 cm steel. This is steel here as well on the body, and this is a micarta, a linen micarta, black linen micarta for the scales. You can get this in snakewood. You can get this in white oxbone. You can get this, yeah, in this micarta as well. So you've got choices there, and I'll show you here in a minute. But interesting, piercing, slicing, and yes, I sliced a piece of paper earlier with it, and yeah, it's sharp. It's really nice and sharp. I think these things run about 128 smackers, but you know, to me, yeah, it's in a price area where, okay, I mean, I don't see it as a huge issue one way or the other. Does this need to be sub 100, or you know, is it okay? I think it just depends on it, you know, if the knife appeals to you, then I think the pricing is fine. You've got jimping on a flipper tab. Flipper tab's not too pronounced, okay? It's pretty intuitive, easy to kick out. Push it back here. On top of the blade, you've got some jimping as well. And so then the jimping under here kind of keeps your finger from rolling forward, yet you can put some pressure up here. So it's really kind of a nice, clean looking gent carry knife as far as I'm concerned. And some of their past ones I've liked. What was I? Oh, well, here's what the snakewood looks like. And you know, that's going to vary from knife to knife, but that's a nice look. There's the smooth ox. Okay, so that's pretty classy as well, to tell you the truth. So, I'm sorry, smooth ox bone, by the way. But I mean, the lockup on this is pretty good. Okay, that's pretty solid, and it's steel, so you don't need an insert or any of that kind of thing. It's easy to disengage. You got this pass through. It really disengages pretty nicely. And I'll take this one apart. We can look inside. But see that? The drop's pretty reasonably good considering the blades. Pretty lightweight. And let's get some basic measurements on this just so you can kind of get an idea. 12 millimeters at 0.47. So same thickness as like a paramilitary 2, Spyderco PM2. Blade thickness is not like a paramilitary 2. It's a 3 millimeter blade thickness and at 0.11 of an inch. And you know, the paramilitary 2 is more like a 3.6, 3.7, I believe. Yeah, it's 0.15 at a 3.8. So that's pretty sturdy, and it's a much bigger knife, the paramilitary 2. Okay, but this is 3.15. This is under 3.25 inch blade length. Okay, but it's not 2.5. So, I mean, 3.15 or close to 3.2. You see what I'm saying? There's 3.25, but here it's not quite. They said 3.15. I'm going to say 3.2, and you can almost just to hell with it and call it 3.25, right? And it's about 82, 83 millimeters, overall 7.25. So it's not 8.25. It's an inch shorter than the paramilitary 2. at 18, just a little over 18 centimeters. But really, for all practical purposes, it's about a 2.85-inch cutting edge and 3¼ inch blade. So now we're talking about a normal size EDC knife, and I like that. And it's easy to function with, and let's put it on the scale because this is a fairly lightweight knife considering this is steel. This is not titanium. 3.45 ounces. So it's not real lightweight for a knife that's just a little over 7 inches. As you can see, the PM3 is right at 7 inches, as 2.41. Well, okay. And then grams, 68.2, grams, 97, about basically 98 grams. So yeah, this is heavier, okay? It's just a tad bit longer, but the blade length is a tad bit longer as well. So overall, and you know, of course, materials very, very different. This is the PM3 lightweight with the FRN scales, so that's a whole different ball of wax than something with steel and micarta. And these are pretty heavy steel scales, although, of course, milled out, micarta inserted there. Pocket clip, you know, I've carried this and I don't remember it being a problem. So I'm going to say it's fine. And because I would notice if it was a real Bearcat, I'd tell you. But I don't remember this being a problem. And, you know, pocket clips are always a funky bunch. You know what? And when I take this off, I'll do a, now, of course, everything's magnetic here, right? Okay, this is all steel. But this is not pulling. See, these screws, yeah. But this, I'm losing the magnetism. I think that's titanium. Okay, I don't think it's aluminum. It's definitely not magnetic. So I'll check it again when we throw this thing apart. Balance on this knife. Come on, where are you? Yeah, it's pretty far back. There's a lot more weight back here than there is on that blade, that's for sure. I'm going to say that I find the design very nice, and I think it flows pretty nice. I mean, it's not perfect into the bolster there, but it's pretty good. Let me pop that blade out a little bit. Blade to handle, reasonable. It's pretty reasonable. I don't find any issues with the potential to touch that blade here. Obviously, there's the stop pin there, and probably the stop for when it's closed right there. Yeah, so pretty sturdy. They could have maybe skeletonized these steel liners here where they had the micarta put in to take a little less, and they might have been able to make these liners a little thinner as far as this goes. I don't know. It's still 3.4, 3.5 is not bad at all. Easy, like I said, to get across and disengage. The drop's pretty nice. I'm not getting any blade play or lock rock, and it's centered. So I'm all good there. And, you know, the pivot is nicely machined here. Let's hope that we can disengage this screw here without turning the pivot. And then, of course, we got screws that are holding the inserts on there and 2 screws holding the pocket clip. Pocket clip is reasonably deep carry, and it's an open design, no back spacer, but we've got these spacers on here, standoffs that look pretty hardy considering the size of the knife. So I'm all good with that. Really, I like this one from Finch. I really do. I think this is excellent. Let's see what we're going to do here. And I'm not turning the front. So, okay. Yeah, but I can feel that there's thread locker in there somewhere. So, and let me see if we can see any on here. Yeah, there's some white. Okay. I'm thinking that these others are number 6s. So let's take the pocket clip off. We were going to kind of test that for magnetism anyhow. And we got number 1, and come here. Depth of field through the camera. Yes, indeed. And number 2, let's pull this baby up and off. Okay, and while we're messing around, nah, there's no magnetism there at all. Nothing. Okay. Are we pretty much open in here? Because the screws that hold the inserts in don't look like they're involved in keeping the knife together. So should this come apart, and it does. There we go inside the stop, open and closed. And then, of course, you can see the areas where the screws come through and hold the inserts on. Pocket clip, which the top one here gets involved with the spacer, the standoff. And then we've got ceramic bearings through here. So we're good that way. Let's pop that off. And, of course, we get them hanging both sides here, right? Okay. Looks like a very light lube in here, so nothing greasy, heavy, not a lot of garbage from assembly or machining. And yes, see what we did? See what we did? Got a D-shaped pivot in here, that's why that didn't move. They could put thread locker in there, but still, this is not going to move, so that is a win-win. All right, I know it looks complicated. I called in all the rocket scientists from NASA. How are we going to put this back together, buddy? Let's see if we can do this alone. Yeah, they didn't show up, damn rocket scientists. I don't like them. They're no fun to party with anyhow. Never pay for the damn tab. They always leave me hanging with it. Okay, let's... Come on, man. Come on, old man. There we go. Whew. God, you'd think that was a chore right on its own. Good Lord. Are we making jokes here? Or... Let's get this put back in here, too. Get down on that. Get down on it. Okay, here we go. And how about a blade? Should we put a blade in? Anybody voting for the blade? Let's do the blade. Let's see if we can actually put a blade on it. There we go. Good boy. Extra gold star for that sucker. Okay, and let's put this one. These are tiny bearings, aren't they? Damn, one drop just floods the whole continent. Okay, so we got both stops stuck in this side, so we're going to jack it all together just like a Dagwood sandwich. And have we got it? Have we? Have we? What do you think? Looks like it's all together. And let's put the pivot back on. And then we'll know we got in and got out safely. Thank God for the D-shaped pivot, huh? Okay, let's just keep it going. Keep it going. And I feel that other side. I feel that other side of that getting sucked into the front scale there. Make it nice and flush. Okay, so we got enough oil all over every damn thing now. Have we? All soaked up? Yeah. Ooh. We got it. Somehow we just leaked it all over. Okay, pocket clip time. So obviously right hand only. N'est-ce pas? Yeah. And check it out. Longer screw goes in where standoff comes through. So that's just for an FYI in case you didn't catch that when we came out of there. So we just push them little puppies down and we go back to the number 6. And we finally got the... Okay, let's back it up, make sure we don't have our threads twisted sideways. And now we're actually going in correctly. And this one's good. This just goes into the into the scale, this side. So they're all involved. And do we look centered? We look centered just like crazy good. And did we jack down on it too hard? I don't think so, but hold on. Let me wipe this off. It's looking dogged. Okay, so do we put enough gallons of lube in there it won't drop anymore? Let me see what I got. I don't know. I don't know how much tension it takes and where I'm going to throw it off. It's still centered, and I backed it off. Okay, so now, well, that's too crazy good, right? You know I got to have play, right? No, I don't have any play. Okay, so this thing got way, way better because I didn't have to set it as tight on that pivot. Now, guess you have to watch it over time, see if you start backing out. But I always let it, like, first of all, do that before I worry about slamming Loctite in there. But, okay, you could put thread locker in it and call it good for that action. That action's nice, and it's centered, and no play. Whew, baby, that's slick. That's so much better than it was. Dang, I'm bragging on that. That's nice. No other way to open it, though. And detent, by the way, well, there goes my shoulder again. Whew. Wow, you'd think I could do... I can't even do that. Okay, but can I fail it? Can I fail it? Come on. Whew. Wow, okay. You're teaching me some ways and means. You know what? When you flick this knife open with the flipper tab, it doesn't feel like the detent is set to a no-fail position. But it really, right now, I cannot fail this. Okay, so that is perfect. I mean, that's nice. It's snappy. There's no other way to open the blade. So all you got is a flipper tab. And when that's it, then this is good. This is a good detent to have. But it doesn't feel aggressive. You know, it feels easy to flick, but it's semi-firm yet snappy. Really, the detent's great. And when you get this pivot set correctly, I mean, the drop is nice too. Even with a light blade like that, that feels good and it feels smooth. So great fidget factor for this knife. Better than I thought before I got done putting it back together and setting that pivot all of a sudden. And you know what? That's a great no fail right there. That's nice. Back with the Finch Holliday. Yeah, really cool. Box. That's what she says right there. And inside the box, if you can get it open, be nice if they had some little cut, those little oval cutaways here, because then sometimes it's hard to separate the top and the bottom. Come on out of there. Okay, so Holiday. Here's your warranty card that just went flying out. Flipping the Finch, flipping the bird, and a Band-Aid, which I'm going to keep that, damn it. I'm always looking for them. Okay, you can imagine why, right? Whoever gets this Finch from me, if they get it from me at all, no Band-Aid for you. And you know we do. We love them knives, so you guys stay sharp.